Welcome, everybody. Let's see who wants to show up today here. Welcome to the stream. Live from the Viking cabin. You see I'm wearing an authentic piece of clothing as well today because it is pretty chilly out. It's been raining all day. Basically, it's raining all week. So that's, yeah, I'm going to get the camera situated here too. Make sure I'm in the middle of the screen. I've got my Hugin and Moonin lantern burning right there. Let's just give this a moment to see who's going to show up here. We've got Monco64. Welcome. Okay. Yes, let's just give it a minute for the notifications to roll in. I did post a notification that I was going to be doing a live stream 8:15 tonight. So hopefully a couple people will show up. So we're going to give that a minute to roll in. In the meanwhile, I brought myself a snack. I brought myself some Viking food. Some Oreo cookies. Oreo cookies, yes. Yeah. All right. Got 2 people in the chat. So, yeah, Berserker Oreos. Yeah, got to make some cookies like that with like the filled with honey. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Hello, Cape Heathen. Welcome. I'm really glad to be back on a live stream. I've been outrageously busy these last weeks, and it's been really bringing me down because it's just I can't explain how much work I've had. I've been putting together the orange van. Finally came out of the paint shop, and it's not all 100% yet. I still need to get some of the pieces painted again because they were wrong, broken, all that good stuff. I changed the turbo, and I basically got to put that thing back in 100% condition. I'm not quite all there yet. And then my van's been breaking down left and right as the same. So that was a tough endeavor to get on the YouTube here. So I'm back for you guys today. Today is Thursday. This is Torsdag, or Donarstag, which is dedicated to my favorite Norse god, Thor. So welcome everybody to the stream. We have some new people here today. I don't recognize the name. We have Ladies Huda and the Morrigan. Welcome, Tristan van Reutenberg. I think you've been on the channel before. It's just been a while. Okay, so KP Heathen, you found a square nail at work. If you want it, let me know. Email you pictures. Oh, square nail. Actually, I have quite a few of historic. I collect, like old tools, and I have quite a few of certain nails. So I probably won't have a use for it. But thank you very much for offering me that. That's very kind of you. I use them in certain places as well here in the cabin. I just put them random places and start hanging things up on them. I do have some nails that I found with the metal detector that are over 1,000 years old because when I found them, they were inside of they didn't look like nails. It was just a clump of something. And then I hit it with a hammer at home, and inside that was a nail. So I immediately had to conserve it. I knew exactly what I had to do. Morning, Lee Bowman, or good evening. Yes, everything's fine here. Just been a very, very busy couple of weeks, and I haven't been able to get on the YouTube much. I've been able to do a video here and there, but that's about it. And when I do have some time, I come up here to relax a couple minutes, and it's usually, there's always something. I'll drive up in here, and I see a tree has fallen on something. I got to fix that. And by the time I get done fixing that, I get up into the workshop here. And there's been a problem lately with the tarp that's on the ceiling. It's a tar, like a heavy-duty tar. It's like a pond liner, actually, is what it is. And I've ordered the thickest one I could get. And it keeps, since I didn't take the time and effort to do it right when I put the thing on there because I wanted to get done. There was a phase where I was pretty stressed out with building this in a short time. I did tie down the other side, fold over the tarp, and put some screws with a piece of 2x4. I didn't do this side. This side hits most of the weather, and it's been flipping the tarp over, and it's been getting water inside here. But I did take care of that today, so that'll be good now. Now I'm very happy I actually got around to that. I cleaned up a little bit. Was actually going to come up here a little bit earlier, but I had to turn around and go back to work because I left my jacket in the other van. So I really had to go back and get those. Get the jacket and the keys. Thank you. My workshop. Yes, this is actually the other half of the workshop. This is the place where I hang out. There's actually a Viking style. Where's the camera? A Viking style Gokstad replica bed right there that I made out of oak, and I actually use it in the summertime. Right now it's still kind of cold to come camp up here. Sotonar, welcome. It's been a while. I'm doing well. How about you? Yes, and also I have some of my Viking sea chests back there. I don't know if you can see one right there, and I keep most of my stuff in there, like all the candles and the lamp. I have a bunch of what do you call them? Oil lamps, and I keep all the stuff safely secure in there. I got one down here. I keep some of my kitchenware in, all out of the insects and mice, so I keep that all safe. And I brought me some Oreos today, so I'd have something to snack on. We got 10 people in the chat today. Okay, so we have had nothing but rain the last couple of weeks. It's been very disappointing. The bees, my bee colonies aren't enjoying that too much, but really nice. We've got to actually acquire another piece of property. I'll be showing you guys that as that takes progress, but that's more like of a business point of view. We're going to be using that for our business. So we're working on preparing. It's basically cleaning up after the previous owner or the previous tenants there. And they left us a huge mess. So that's basically what we're going to be doing the next month or two. It's just cleaning up after somebody else's mess. Oh, it's been raining there as well. Yes, that's probably, yeah. I laugh about that all the time. I think that somebody's playing with the satellites up in the atmosphere, making it rain. And then they make it not rain in the summer, just to piss me off a little bit. And then they make it rain consistently, nonstop for long periods of time. I don't know. It's just the thing I like to play around with that thought. Yeah, so the bees. The bees. Yeah, like I was trying to get to my mind is all over the place today. The bees are okay. They're still there. I fed half of them. I had a day the other week where it was a nice day, and I started working on the bees. I got about 4 of the colonies out of the 5, 6, or 7 I have left. And I got about 4 done. I opened them up. I didn't get to actually take them apart and inspect the colonies because the weather was starting to, I saw some clouds roll in. And I instantly knew I had to hurry. So I put some food in for them. And the other 4, I really am worried about them because I haven't been able to get in there to check on them. So I'm going to try really hard to do that this weekend on the Sunday possibly, and Sunday morning, because Vanessa's mom's birthday is on Sunday, and I have to see how I can manage all these things that I need to do. The birds, the owls, we haven't obtained any owls yet. We have one that we were trying to take care of, and we returned it back to the aviary because it wasn't working out too well. The owl was already too old to train properly, so we kind of started investing our time in other projects that would be more worth our time and efforts. So that we do have a what do you call it? A kestrel. It's a tiny little small falcon, and it's pretty cool. The only problem is Pooh Bear doesn't get along too well with the birds, so we're gonna have to figure something out for that. But that's just a matter of planning properly and getting things straight. That's gonna take a while though, because like I said, the property that we just got, we're cleaning up after huge mess. I found all kinds. Is this the second or third? We had a little issue there with the connection for a second. You guys still there? It may be that the connection goes a little bit. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and we have some really terrible weather, and I'm trying to stream this off the hotspot from the phone. So this is what we got right now. Working on getting full-blown solar power in here with the off-grid infrastructure, so I can run 2 or 3 cameras with different angles while I work in the workshop. That would be great. And I can actually plug this in, and we can stream all day if we feel like it. All right. So let me see who we met. Kestrels are staying. Yes, they're really small too. I like they're about the size of that Monster Energy can there, and really nice, fascinating birds. Oh, thank you, Janie. Thanks for the thumbs up and for saying hello. Glad you could join us. Maybe you could stop by their next live stream, or maybe check out the next video. We'll be glad to see you when you get back. Have a good day there. Moose Steak, welcome. Yes, hello. Yes, smash that like button like a berserker. Just don't break the screen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A great summer is coming. Yes, I hope so. Are you pagan? Well, I would say no. I'm more of a person that lives kind of in between what you would call. It's really difficult. I really do enjoy studying the Norse mythology, and there has been times where it's meant a lot to me, especially the metaphors that it represents, and especially the experiences that I've had with the individual moments there. There's been some moments that have really helped me along the way, but I think that we can never understand with our human mind fully beyond that. And the Viking Age is very fascinating, and especially the mythology that was tied with it. And I tend to kind of try to find the middle somewhere, not to get too involved in that part of it. So I try to stay more on my feet and try to control what I can control on my own without having to go into too much of the spiritual aspect of that. But I am actually what you would consider maybe a heathen, someone who lives off the land and kind of sees the fascination of nature in everything around me, and kind of ties that into that concept that whatever instrument of mastermind architect is behind that, you could probably incorporate that into any aspect of your personal, what do you say, point of view, and feel really good about it and live a really healthy, happy life. And that's what I try to do. I try to see a little that Norse mythology, kind of the metaphors here in there. And then I know there's other days I like to imagine that there's actually somebody like Thor flying through the, I don't know, you never know. So it's really interesting. It's a really old religion. So it's been around for a while. Thank you, Lexi. There you are. Finally made a live stream. That's awesome. And I haven't been on actually in a while. I kind of quit. I kind of quit doing the 5 o'clock evening live streams driving home. It kind of never. I'm trying to keep the channel kind of straightforward lately. And on a lot of my videos, I'm doing an experiment this year where I'm going to be doing a lot more videos with no talking. I'm just going to be working in the workshop or working out in the forest or just doing my thing, just trying to film. Hello, Kevin. Welcome. And trying to make videos that don't have any dialogue in them so that I can concentrate on what I'm doing and set that relaxing tone. If it's it's a video explaining something, then that's going to be different. But I try to making and working out for me very well so far. So I'd like to try to stay on that train for a while, and then come on the live stream so that we can hang out together and like Q&A, or just hang out and chat and say hello. Since we haven't been able to do that much lately. Where I show myself working on my projects. Okay. That's it. Greetings from Springtime Equinox, Pennsylvania Love, the Green Woodworking, Axel, Rick Bonner. Okay, Pennsylvania. It must be, yeah. Thank you very much there, Richard. Okay, yeah. So Tanar, I understand a little bit of that. I'm trying to do something new to see, because I'm really trying to get that YouTube algorithm to take my videos out of the basement and actually share them with many people. I had a really successful video there that last couple, like about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where I forged that flint striker, and that video exploded pretty well. I shared that on Reddit and Facebook, and I worked on that video quite a bit, especially because that striker was a gift for someone very special, and I wanted it to be up to spar just perfectly. And I had spent a lot of time on this preparing for that video, and it was kind of a spontaneous video too. I didn't really plan it that I was going to film that. And then I grabbed my gear, I came up here, I prepared the materials, and a lot off camera, where I used some power tools to take off some of the teeth from the file and get it ready so that when I'm working on it, I don't have to pull any power tools into the video. Yeah, so Tanar, so I'm really trying my best to try to get ahead, because this is now my, let's see, 2019. This is now my 4th year on YouTube, and I'm really trying to push it now so I can get up in there and actually, start being successful with what I'm doing, instead of stop spinning my wheels here. All right, Moose we'll see you. Stay safe. See you soon. Yes. Oh, Heathen Hillbilly, welcome. Good to see you. Yes, and yeah, that's what's been going on lately. A lot of off-camera, off-topic things, and that's life. It is priority. I have to been taking care of that, and left and right things have been just thrown at me. So it's really, really tough to come up here and hang out with you guys when I know I have to work until midnight on something else to get cars back on the road, or the house is. I got a leaky window up in the roof. I'm working on trying to measure that and put a new one in myself. So I'm doing some research on how to do that. I have never changed never changed a window out in the house on the ceiling before. So that's going to be really interesting. Out of the roof, reception is saying it's striking here. Just hold on just 1 second. We'll be back here soon. Something's going on. Are you guys still there? We had a little bit of internet interruption there. So, what was I saying before that happened? All right. Oh, there you are. Yes, thank you very much there, Luke and Mom. Bob, welcome. Oh, really? Not live on my main computer. They are many. They're waiting for you. How is that possible? That doesn't? It should be sharing this on YouTube. I have a thing up here where it says YouTube. Maybe if you could go and those somehow, I don't know how that would go. This is supposed to go through multiple platforms. That's why this is really supposed to work well. That's kind of disappointing. It's getting closer and closer to canoe time. Yeah, okay. I see you guys. You guys are writing messages. Yeah, the reception isn't that great up here. something with the internet happens, then that's what it is. I'm in the middle of no. This is like as off grid as you can get from on Germany. It's like you can't go very far without driving into a town, or at least has like the population of there's at least some people somewhere. But this is about as off grid as you can get. So this is about 15 minutes, 20 minutes away drive from anywhere near people. So this is pretty fair for me. KP Heathen, correct. I was supposed to find you a flint striker. That is correct. To be honest, I had completely forgot. But now that you reminded me, I'm actually going to make you, because I don't have anything laying around. I'll just get some time this weekend maybe and fire up the forge, because I do want to do some forging. I'm going to go buy a new couple bottles of gas. I have 3 or 4 empty bottles I need to return to the store, and I need to go to a specific store because I have a brand of gas that I can only get there, and I want those bottles to be I don't want to throw those bottles out because I have return fund on them. So I'd like to get exchange them for 4 bottles of just for the filling of the gas. Curtis, welcome. Yeah, well, this cabin up here, the idea of this was to actually start off grid with my workshop, because without a workshop you can't do anything. And really living up here is going to be 2 things I really miss is a heating system, because I don't have a fireplace in this building, and a toilet. So some kind of outhouse would be great. That's on the plan. That's like at the top 10 things I want to build this year. I actually want to extend this building, but I have a problem. As I was digging out the bobcat on the side here, I was digging out some of the hill. I dug down, I guess, into a slight I dug down into a underground water supply. Now I have water seeping all across the entire place here. So I have to restructure that before I do anything. I have to dig a moat around the exterior of the entire place where I dug out, which is an enormous amount of digging by hand, of course. I have to dig it by hand because I've already put in a field of I've sown out some seeds that for my bees. It's going to be beautiful. This is all the red sand. I've did a great indentation to the earth there, and I wanted to give something back. So I didn't want to just take something away. I wanted to give something back to nature. So what I did is I bought a whole bunch. I bought an entire mix of pollen and nectar producing plants, big bag of seeds. It cost like $200+, and I sown them out on that field there, and it's going to be wonderful here, because that's on the first year I had the camp up here. That's exactly what I had sown out on the field, and it was wonderful. It actually turned out great. And so I would like to give something back. So I planted those today, and it'd be good for the bees and the butterflies and all the other useful insects. There'll be some wonderful footage to film, some of the B-roll for some of the videos, and just an awesome place to hang out and observe and enjoy myself a little bit. Yeah, the window. Yeah, we'll see. But I have to do some research first, a little bit of research, and I may go grab someone to help me with that, because I have to do that in one day. It has to be done in a day, and I have to have the right window to put in the hole that I tore out, and I have to have possibilities to improvise. If I get the window out, that the place where the window went needs repair, then I need to be able to repair it and then put the window in, and it all needs to happen in a day. So that's going to be tough. My bees, we just had, well, they're coming out of winter now. They're already been flying around a little bit. We've had a couple of really nice days in February where they was out and about like it was the tip of the summer, but they haven't grown very much yet because of the cold weather, and it's been raining nonstop, which is very bad for the early start of the year. I hope it isn't going to be a year like 2 years ago where it just rained out my entire bee colonies, and I lost all my bee colonies that year. Last year wasn't much different. It was very tough last year as well. So I started off kind of late, and now I'm getting back into it this year to see what's going on. We'll have to see how that goes. Tried to start working on them a little bit, and then the weather changed on me. So I'm going to be really watching the weather report for another sunny day that I'm not at work in the next couple of weeks. And then I'm going to open them all up, check them out, see where the queen is, make sure they're all in great condition, and then act accordingly if I have to on anything. And then I'm going to start my first bee splits, and I'm going to make one frame. This year I'm really excited to start something new, and I'm going to try to be rearing my own queens for my favorite colonies. That's going to be really exciting. I have all the tools. I have the technical knowledge, but I don't have any practical experience. So we're going to be doing that this year. It's going to be very exciting. Snow. Yeah, we had some snow a little bit. It tried to snow a little bit a couple of days ago back here. Yes, that's exactly. It's a learning experience. You learn as you go, and there's not much to really. Just get out there and do it. Read as much as you can, watch some videos, and try some things out for yourself, and come up with your own ideas, and just go at it. See what works for you and what meets your needs. Basically, is really important. You just have to find out what you would like to do and go for it. Yeah, Bob, that's kind of like what it is here. Rain, rain, rain. Snow wouldn't be so bad either, but then you got all the mud after it melts. That's kind of gross too. The rain, it's muddy and then it goes away pretty quickly. But the snow, yeah, it's kind of a thing. Miter Viking Norway, welcome. Trial and error, that is correct. That's we learn and we live forever the student of the universe. It's learning experience. That's very important to never forget that. This is actually quite warm. I like this. You check this out. I got this awesome fibula. I made this. There's actually a video where I made this really cool fibula here. I didn't have one because I keep making nice things like this and giving them to people or trading for things that I'd like to have. And I said, you know what? I want to make a quick something for a video, and I'll make a fibula for me. And I put this here, and so I put this on this. This is an old army blanket, but it works great. And Pooh Bear already chewed off the bottom corner of it for me, so now it's really has that authentic look. Yeah. Oh, my nose itches. Yeah, it's a wonderful, quiet evening up here. The only thing that I can hear is the stupid windmills that they have put up on the mountain, up on the whole mountainside, the whole hills, the whole hillside. That's what I was going to say. The whole hillside is covered in windmills, and it's just pests. It's just all you hear now is there's no stillness unless there's no wind. All the bee boxes are pretty full. They're looking pretty good, but I have to hurry up and get in there and feed them, make sure they have enough food stuff. And if they don't, I need to really start feeding them up because there's no food available. It's just been raining. There's no pollen and nectar when the rain comes out, and it consistently continues without stopping. So there's no time for the bees to come out and collect anything. The rain washes it all away. So that's very hard for them to survive off of what they have. And it can happen quickly that they starve, which would be a very big problem because they all looked like so far they were doing pretty good just by looking under the lid. I just popped the lid up and kind of peeked inside through the plastic cover, and they seem to be doing okay. So we'll have to see the next nice day out. I'm going to take a look at that. You have a dog. His name is Pele, like the footballer. That's funny. Yeah, Luke and Mom, that's right. The only person they say, oh, it's environmental friendly and green, and those windmills are such a failure. Every year we have at least one catch fire and burn down, at least one, and they're hazardous because they have that weird plastic that they use, And a burning windmill has 3 blades that'll come falling to the ground at any second. So the only person that really profits from that deal, well, the first thing is the wind out a current of electricity that doesn't go straight down into the power grid. It goes down to a transformer box, which is located somewhere in the near vicinity of the windmill. That transformer box then again converts it to another alternating current. We've got cut off again. Yeah, there we go. So that transformer box, then the windmill sends the electricity to, again, retrofits that electricity again to another voltage that's not 20 outlet electricity or grid power, sends that over to the power, which then converts it again to 220, and actually then at that point puts it in the power grid. So you have 3 losses of energy there. The other thing is, on a lot of windy days, most of those windmills are turned off. I wonder why. That free electricity, we can't be having that. That's probably, I've seen actually half the windmills on today are just turned off. They're not working, which is strange because I could imagine we're having energy crisis and all this stuff. Those things should be working 24 hours if that's possible. So there's one thing, and the other thing is the only persons or organization that prop from those windmills is it's not a green energy or the consumer at the bottom of the food chain here. It's the person who sold the or the company, more or less, who sold the windmill, the company who installed the windmills, and the person or the company who sold the land to install the windmills on. Those are the only people who profit about that. And then after that, it's just the windmill's there. It makes noise. It cuts down several hundred birds every year. My camera's doing some weird things. And especially some endangered species, as a matter of fact. We have some really cool bird species here, hawks and buzzards and Milan and some type of falcons and stuff like that. And I've been able to use our binoculars to watch them. And those windmills are actually a risk to endangered species, along with several of the other birds that fall victim to the windmills every year here. And there's a whole bunch of windmills. There's quite a few. We need to set up something live in the middle of England, though. We live in the rain here in the Shires. Yeah. I wouldn't know. I mean, having a small, there's nothing wrong with having a little windmill in your backyard that powers up when you need to use it off grid, and you can have it out somewhere. It's never going to make as much noise as one of those windmills that's up there. You can actually use a rotor blade, and you can put a fan cover on it so that the birds won't fly in it. I've seen some really cool designs that work very well. They only power the blinking light on top of them. I've never thought of it that way. That's pretty funny. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm going to have to say that was a good one. I didn't think of it ever in that perspective. All right, everybody, let's go. On the sailboats, yeah. Oh, they have just now, the military, come out with a microwave energy cannon that can shoot energy, can beam electricity charge to a reception grid clear across great distances to charge up a battery system or a power grid. Something straight out of Tesla's. And now the military is saying, oh, we invented this. You just stole someone's idea that's like 100 years old, and you just modernized it, and now you're going to weaponize it. you could actually shoot energy at, you could like electrically fry somebody. And they say, oh, it's a 10 kilohertz. It's safe for humans. Yeah. So is everything else in this world, right? Yeah. Let me see if I can open up a YouTube tab here real quick without crashing the live stream. Hopefully that won't happen. That would be very bad. Computer can handle it. I was just going to switch over to the YouTube to see if there's anybody still waiting on the live stream over there. I think it's Bob that just said that there's people waiting here. It says 18 watching, so I'm live off of this right here. All right. Again, so that the VCU isn't overloaded. Yeah, he actually had it all set up to he was using it. And I think it was JP Morgan that he was working for that was sponsoring his research. Found out what he was doing and is trying to make free energy for everybody, and he shut him down instantly. Nope, can't have that. Free energy. Yeah, that's how that goes these days. Yeah, I've been looking at working really hard now. A lot of my videos have been doing pretty well here over the time and day. I'm trying to advertise them on the Facebook and on Reddit, and it looks like that will have a pretty close to 4,000 watch hours here coming around the corner. So that's a really big milestone for me. Hopefully that'll go as planned, and YouTube will allow the channel to be monetized, which would be great. Then I can actually start to afford to come on to this channel a lot more often, especially with live streams, because then actually my time, even if it's just $2 or $3 here and there, it's really going to help. That 15 likes. Oh, thank you guys for clicking on the like button. Yeah, I just checked, Bob. I just swung over to YouTube to make sure there wasn't any mistake and everything. I was on the front page that I was actually live, and there were 18 people watching. So that's all good now. Thank you for letting me know that so I could double check on that. I was afraid to go check that because I'm on a very limited bandwidth of internet right here out in the middle of nowhere. I'm trying to make the best of that. Yeah, KP Heathen, hopefully we can get that milestone. That's really good too for the live streams. Actually, they have a much higher watch hour percentage rate than videos. So if I do like an hour of live stream, I get a lot more watch time from that than if I do an hour video and someone just clicks through it and and they just watch it for 15 seconds, and then it's really a tough gig. Now we got Sailing SV Frig. Welcome. Yes, I have quite a few subscribers now, going up to about over 4,000 as well, and at about 3,200 watch hours. And so I'm working on that's going up as we speak. So that's pretty good. Beef shanks. That sounds like awesome. I had actually beef with noodles earlier. Flying Phoenix, welcome. Got a couple people popping in here now. We got some people strolling, and they must have the YouTube notice must have actually started notifying people. I've noted about half the people that are subscribed to the channels don't have notifications on. That's just kind of a little bit of a bummer, but I guess that's the way it goes. People subscribe and they forget about you, which is weird. Yeah, Lance, Corporal, veteran. That's about this. What I think. I think you need to be kind of like an entertainer of your own kind to be able to keep the stats up on your own channel. I didn't want to be a somebody myself and doing what I want to do, but that's kind of difficult if you don't. In the competition that you're up against, you really have to have something that someone else doesn't. And that's one of the reasons I bought property. I wanted my YouTube studio to be outside. I wanted it to be in nature. I wanted it to be as real as possible. I started working in my basement on Viking sea chests, and that wasn't cutting it for me. There's a million guys on YouTube working on some projects out of their basement, and their YouTube channels are 10 years old, and they just have about 10,000 subscribers, and they just do it for whatever reason. But I'm out for the big. I have great goals. I don't know if that's I have some really great ambitions here with YouTube. There's been times though that I've really wanted to just quit. I was very angry from time to time here, hitting these speed bumps, and then because life just gets in the way, and you work way too hard on these videos and on your projects, and then you just don't have time to just wake up in the morning and turn on the computer and start filming the next video or come up with a new topic that people want to actually watch. And when I do something about Vikings, people they want to see some crazy motorcycle leather jacket or leather clothes and big battle axes and all kinds of weird action like out of the Vikings TV series, because that's the kind of dopamine gratification that they want, that they think Vikings were like that because they know any better. And general public is really hard. It's really hard to do something traditionally Viking and have great views. You really have the views you get are actually from other people who actually recognize your work, but then they really it's not enough to push the channel up over the edge to get some more views, to get the monetization. So I really have to improvise a little bit. That's why I want to build my off-grid workshop up here. So I'm not hooked up to anybody's power grid, hooked up to any running water. I'm far away from any place that has central heating. And I want to come up here and start building my own infrastructure, make Viking projects. This half of the cabin that we're sitting in right now, it's traditionally set like a small Viking house inside. I have a Viking style bed. Everything's made of wood. There's very few modern items in here in this side of the shop. There's a couple of small things that help me maintain a certain level of life up in here, but I'm not as far as to where I can just live up here. I need to plan my next project. I was saying again earlier, my mind was going, and I was explaining myself that I was digging around the outside, and I was actually going to extend the building out here, because this is like a hangout, like the living quarters area. I wanted to extend that and possibly make a woodwork shop. So I want to make maybe this half where we're sitting now, I want to make that into a small woodwork shop. And the other half, then I will make a larger section, probably double the size of this small room right here. I want to build that onto the outside of this room and make a really nicely insulated cabin section where I can actually spend the night in a cozy place with a little fireplace, with a small stove. It ain't going to be too Viking historically accurate, because this lean-to shelter style building isn't historically accurate at all, to the best of my knowledge. But it's a very simple build. It cost me quite a pretty penny because of the lumber was quite expensive, but I had to do it in a short period of time. I built this building all by myself, basically, in a matter of 3 months last summer. So it was trying to hustle and get everything in there. And I spent the last bit of my budget on that new anvil over there. You guys probably seen in my previous videos. So that's a big investment for me. And now I plan to actually get it to where I can come up here and live for a week or longer, week or two comfortably, without having to have I need to have heat. I need to have a place where I can cook a small meal, where I can keep some of I need to make a couple more of those sea chests there, so I can keep all of my stuff safe from there's a big mouse problem up here, man. You won't believe, mice everywhere. So reading some of your comments here. Yeah, that's really what I would plan to do. And it's either extend this building or extend the roundhouse and make that extension a really nice, comfortable place to spend the night. And I'm thinking of possibly even Yeah, it's kind of a thing. If I want to redo the roof again or not, I'm in between. I might do both actually. So it's like you go big or go home. I like that saying. So I really don't know. I really have to come up to my senses about that and see what I can do about that water problem first, because I can't build anything next to this cabin or that or the roundhouse. I can't extend that without fixing the water problem. Water problem needs to be fixed right straightforward. Any of the water that comes down from the roof from the back of the building that doesn't make it in the water tank, there's a big 1,000 liter IBC water tank that the rainwater catches, and it's planning to expand that by 4. I want to have about 4,000 liters of water stored back there. And yeah, I need to do something about that. So those are some projects for the summer. Expand the water capacity, maybe get solar, maybe not. That's expensive. Don't have any money for that right now. And extend as well this or the other building, or maybe even both. We'll see. I have some building of the expensive the raw building materials left over from this project. I have about 10 of those big, heavy, round posts that I could still I could probably incorporate into my next project. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, it's really excited for that. See what we can get done this summer. You know, every summer I say, this summer I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to do any major projects. And like out of the blue, I go out and I spend $1,000 on lumber and screws. And I'm like, today I'm going to build this, and I'll be done in 2 months. It's whatever floats my boat, I guess. And I'm not really trying to plan anything at this moment because I have some other Baustellen, we call it Baustelle, construction sites here. I have some other things that I'm trying to clean up after first, which I've been doing a good job, but it's still, every time I look in a place, say, oh yeah, that needs to go, or that needs to go somewhere else. Oh, I see a mouse. Speaking of, there's a mouse. Just ran across over there where the fire extinguisher goes. That's really awesome. And I need to do something about these mice. These mice, I mean, that's a problem. It's a big problem. If I put Pooh Bear in here, he will just run through here. He has no sense of objects in the way. If he sees a mouse, he will run through the shop. He will knock everything over, hurt himself, possibly even get, something broken, or, a big catastrophe. So that's why when I'm working in here, I don't like him sitting here when I have the gas forge on, because he will see a mouse and he will storm through the shop. Absolutely no sense of what's around him. That's a little bit of a problem there. Did I just see Matthias Treeman pull in here into the chats? Let's see. I didn't get to see you show up. That's kind of a bummer. I was busy chatting away. Yeah, I was probably too busy talking so I don't know if he's still here. We got Pagan Workshop, I think it was, popped up in here somewhere. Yeah. The lanterns, yeah, the lanterns you see behind me, those aren't actually real Viking lanterns. They're kind of socially accepted into the Viking reenactment, but they're not archaeologically in any historical aspect of the Viking Age. They're not represented in the Viking Age at all, actually. But the reason we use them is because they're just they're safer than oil lamps, because they have the enclosed flame, and they do look really nice. They're super simple to make with some really, really easy materials. And I'm actually thinking of making a 1 or 2 for a video here coming up, because it's a really quick, easy project and something really nice that you can hang up somewhere and actually use. It's actually got 2 birds. It actually got Hugin and Moonin on it. If I'm going to just turn it into the camera real quick, there's actually 2 of them on there if you want to see. And there was I got these from a Viking market. That's one of the biggest ones that I go to. Oh, it's actually a medieval market, but there's a lot of Viking stuff there that people sell. And this lady was making them right there at the market, and I thought they were cool. I think I had to have at least one each, and she was happy to. I like to spend money in a while on stuff like that. I have a couple more back there of different kinds. They also, one or the other, have pictures on them too. So it's they're nice to have around, but you don't see it on the camera. But they did get somehow molded up really bad because I didn't pull them in. I didn't take them down and take them in the house because I just trying to unclutter the house and things up here because I find them new homes that where they belong, without remembering that I had that problem in my tents before, and I thought, in here they don't get as wet and they're not soaked constantly because the tent was always leaking, and yeah, I was wrong. So this really nice one that I've had at home for the longest time is starting to mold, and it makes me kind of sad. So I'm gonna try to see if I can clean that somehow. I have no idea how, but yeah, that'll be a project for another day. That's not bothering me too much. If you put a candle in it and light it like that, it looks pretty. So I'm just gonna leave it for the time being. Stones. Yes, I have stones. And I'm thinking about doing something in that manner, that where I'm going to dig down and put stones around, and I'm going to keep the water flows out. I'm going to have it running down that way along the exterior of the property. That way the water can go, can run down and irrigate the rest of my garden without flooding my plans for extending this building here. I also going to build the floor in here is actually the floor on this half of the shop that we're actually in right now is actually on wooden planks. I raised the podium up off the ground about, I'll say, I don't know, about 6 inches or so, 10 inches maybe, and leveled it out real nice and put support beams into the frame structure of the building. And then I put heavy floorboards in. So I wanted a wooden floor on this half because of the fact that I don't like stepping on the wet ground, and I want to keep my nice furniture here off of the ground. So it works really nice. It looks great. It's actually really pleasant to walk on as well in the middle of the night when you get up. The floor is actually really nice because it's not wet. You see, I'm just reading the comments here. Yeah, Viking meeting would be cool, yes. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm, when I put these posts in the ground, I should have done a little more conservation to the actual structure. Those posts in the ground, I don't know how long they'll last, but I already know how to go about that in a couple, let's say 10, 15 years from now. Who knows what's then anyway. But I should be able to really easily take some of these boards off the siding and cast a concrete, which I really don't want to do, but that would be a really easy way to fix any damage to the post. Is cast a concrete, a new concrete rim around this building, basically, and just pour concrete in them, and that concrete will actually harden, heat the wood, and actually sit really well right there. And then I'll have a concrete ring around the building. That'll work if I ever gets to that point where those posts rot out. Yeah, vinegar and lemon. I'll try that out. Maybe that'll work. Maybe that'll get that mold off. That would be great. I've already tried bleach on one of my other. I've already tried bleach on one of my other ones, and it didn't work. Rawhide for, let me see. Yeah, Lance Corporal. I did see that in a, where did I see that at? It was a medieval church in, what town was that? What museum? Loash am Rhein. There's a really cool outdoor, I go there once a year at least, because the buildings there are actually Viking age dated. European buildings, but they're built very similar. The construction is just 100 years later or 200 years later than the late Viking Age ending. So it's around 1300 AD, but the building style is, on some of the older buildings, they use very similar techniques. And I go there to study the buildings that they've been making on archaeological. They have different buildings based on different findings across Europe. So, but it's all dated around 1300 AD, more or less. And they have a Grubenhaus, which is really cool, as a blacksmith shop. I really enjoy going to that and seeing that in action. And they had a church where they had a rawhide window, which is really fascinating to take a look at. And they know historically that's a thing that actually existed. So it's pretty... I'm a little bit tired here. So we know that existed for a fact because we have scriptures at that time frame. With Roman concrete, I could do that. Yeah, there's actually a new study about it. They actually just found out now how that works. They just figured out the secret. But I would probably not. It's historically, I don't really fable the Romans too much because of what they did to the Germanic tribes and how they treated them. But militarily, if you look at the military aspect and at the technological aspect, they did have quite the skill there. Where I have to say, though, most of their skills in metalworking came from the early Germanic people. They stole a lot of technologies and ways of making good armor and metals from the early Germanic people. Speaking of which, I do have something very special I can share with you right now if you'd like to see it. This is something called a Lebaha, or a Lebach is the town they were mined in. And the Celts and the Germanic tribes of Germany, they actually use these stones because to mine this is like an iron ore. This is like the iron ore specimen right here, and this specific type of iron ore contained a fair amount of high quality iron ore in the middle, and it's a clay based mineral, and it has iron in the center. Some stones have more, some less. You grind this down and you run it through a what do you call it? Bloomery, and you make bloom steel, and from there you refine it into steel or iron, and then you have to make the steel by adding charcoal and there's a certain process to that as well, and that's very difficult. And we found a whole bunch of these, and what's also very cool, so there's actually a video on my channel about that if you guys want to go check it out. It's called Lebaha Aya, and we went to a special place and actually, on a hint from a friend, went and found a whole bunch of these and took a bunch of the cool specimens, the coolest ones we could find home, not because they had iron in them, but because they also contain really awesome fossils. And if you look at this, you can see that there's something inside there. And we did our studying, and this is actually right here. This is actually a fossilized piece of poop. So that's really cool. Well, actually not cool. Yeah, but it's still a fossil. It counts. So I want to put that over here. It's one of my artifacts that I keep up here to kind of display. It's kind of like my man cave. I keep all my cool stuff. And we have an airplane jet flying across the sky here. So if you guys can't hear me for a second or two here, it's probably because of that. Get myself a coffee. Yeah, well, I have some energy right here. I don't know if this is working or not. I've just been up all day and I've had a stressful afternoon and I was very tired. All right, we have a troll here. We have someone trying to troll. I'm going to get rid of this primordial whoever. Yeah, let me see if I can get rid of this guy. If I can figure out how to do that. Click there. to his chat. I want to. Okay, this isn't working. Okay. Anyway. Let's see. They did the same from the Celts. Trying to get this to work for me. Just 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to figure this out. There's this comment here. Where we're going to leave it. We're just going to, because this is, the internet speed is really, really hanging up here. Yeah. Whoa. What was that? I missed half the conversation there. Roman concrete. Lexi. Coffee. No, I don't need a coffee. Yep. Germanic pagan past. All right. Thank you for stopping in, Matthias. And we'll see you later then. I hope you're well and take care. Let's see what else we got. Very neat. Okay. There we go. Yeah, and I have a whole bunch of them in my basement for a rainy day, I guess you could say. Something like today, I could be cutting them all open looking for cool fossils, but I want to wait till Vanessa and I both have the time to do that together, since that was sort of a collective experience. And she has the most luck. I mean, I was there 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, there's pieces everywhere, and she disappeared. And she's hanging off the roots of a tree like a monkey, hanging off the cliff, looking at this, reaching for this stone. And I'm like, where'd she go? And then the next thing you know, she comes swinging around the corner with this big, flat, round disc. And it's the most awesome lebaha'ai. Like, it's a picture book, perfect specimen. And I get really frustrated because she can find fossils like instantly. If you go somewhere where there's fossils, like within 10 seconds, there'll be like fossil. I just saw a weird shadow in here. It's kind of odd. Yeah, I just heard some noise. Just checking it out. A paleontologist. That was one of my dream professions too. Archaeologist, paleontologist, and all that good stuff. And then I decided I didn't want to go to school for 10 years to go dig in a desert. And actually, I did some more research, and you study paleontology or archaeology, and then you end up somewhere in an archive. Nah, I don't want to do that. No way. So I got into kind of mechanics and cars and learned to use tools and kind of expanded my skill set from there. Thank you very much, Matthias, for your nice comment there. And thanks for stopping by. So there's about 30 minutes left of the battery here in the laptop. So let's see what we can get. Well, let's see if we can hang out another 25, 30 minutes, and then I'll probably have to go home myself. It's pretty late now. It's almost 10 o'clock, and then I have to get up and go to work again tomorrow. So that's yeah, fertilized poo-poo is awesome, isn't it? Yeah, but it's actually the most common fossil that you can find in there is that kind of fossil. But there's also other fossils, possibly like a fish or something. That would be awesome, or crab, or some kind of shellfish, or some kind of seashell. That would be great. Yeah, that's almost like exactly what this is. Lance Corporal veteran. That's almost exactly what that is. And I actually have iron ore. Do I have a piece of it here? I have a piece of. Hold on. This is my kuksa that I've been carving. I'm keeping it up here in the cabin for a while. I'm letting it dry out really slowly. I'm really happy with it. The only down draw is it has a wormhole in the wood. there's a hole straight through the cup. And about that because I've never been able to make a nice kuksa that hasn't all just straight up cracked in half on me. And so that's really, I'm trying to think about what I want to do with this. But what was I going to show you? Right here. I have a piece. This is a piece of jasper. Oops. I don't want to get all the sand all over my computer. And jasper is actually a really good stone to use with flint and steel. And I have this, it's really hard to see. This is red, actually. It looks like a piece of steak. This looks like food. And I have a large quantity of this. Yeah, corporalite, exactly. And the iron content in the mineral is what makes this color of jasper. And I have a lesser grade of this is actually an iron ore outside in the sandstone. And I have a quite large amount of that I mined out of here while I was digging the platform here for this workshop and the outer and expanding out the outer area out into the around the back of the workshop and to the side there. I had to dig out quite a bit of material, and I was finding these rocks and iron ore, high quality sandstone iron ore. It was just like a sandstone. You'd pick it up and you'd think it'd be like the regular weight you'd expect, and it was about 3 times the weight. So I cracked it open and I found that had a high content in iron. That's probably hematite or what's the other one? Magnetite or hematite. So I haven't really been able to test it yet, but I'm 100% sure it's an iron ore that I can use in an iron smelt. So what I'm going to do is I'm collecting it up as I'm still finding pieces as I go all across the camp here as I'm digging new holes or cleaning up. Every time it rains hard, I find new pieces of jasper. It's kind of exciting to take a quick walk across the camp to see what's washed up from the rain to make sure I've got all the pieces. You know, because once it all grows over green, that's it for this year with finding cool rocks up here. So I'm trying to make the best of it. I did spend a couple of days digging out with a hand shovel, tunneling out a little tunnel in there. I was pulling out some nice pieces. So I have a large supply of that red jasper now that I could probably have quite a bit for a long time. Lexi writes, let's see. Yeah, I love doing this. This is actually great. I'm really enjoying hanging out up here. This is actually really, really relaxing. Kind of had a really stressful day, and I'm really happy to be sitting up here in my awesome, cool cloak thing that I made here out of a U.S. Army blanket. But it works, and it looks authentic. Yeah, and my fibula that I forged myself. You know, I usually always for other people. I said this year I'm only going to make things for myself, all the cool stuff this year. So I made myself a nice fibula and a knife, a Hedeby replica for my Viking belt for my gear, since I didn't have one. Made about 3 of those now. I made many knives, but specifically a replica. And Hedeby in specific is really interesting to me because it's close. I can reach out and actually I have access to it. It's not like Norway or Sweden where I have to cross the ocean to actually go and see these sites. And I can spend a day trip and drive up to Hedeby and go to the museum and spend a day at the shore as well, you know, collecting up fossils, rocks, and actually flint. The Baltic Sea there, some of the shores there, I can find soccer ball sized pieces of flint, and which I do every time I go up there. I take the opportunity to collect as much flint as I can and bring it back with me because it's an excellent resource, and I have endless amounts of uses for it. And I do make quite a bit of flint steel strikers. They go out to once in a while as gifts, and I'd like to try some new things here. What's going on with this? I'm going to click that away. The internet is striking here. Yeah, so we got 21, 25. I'm not scared. This is all good. I just saw a weird shadow there. I thought what it was it was either a mouse or a moth flying around. I have the all this lighting in here. That's not all just from the candle. I have my floodlight set up over there, lowest possible setting, so that the camera here doesn't have a hard time, so that you guys can actually see me and we can have a pleasant live stream here. Otherwise, it would be a very dark screen and very unpleasant to watch. So I had to do a little experimentation with the lighting before I actually tuned in. So that's you guys could actually still see the lighting behind me with the cool lamp and have the opportunity to have a halfway decent quality picture. I don't think it's Leprechaun, no. This place up here has a very positive vibe. I really enjoy it up here. I feel really relaxed, and there's been some nights that I've actually had the wild come out of the forest and just walk right in front of me, and it was just amazing. And so I have a lot of positive experiences up here. I spent a lot of time up here with friends, and it's very kind of a sacred place for me. This area. That's why I really do my best to keep the location to myself and well hidden. That way, it's Your neighbor's mate used to work for Time Team. I don't quite know what that is. You want to maybe explain that quickly? That way, if that's something special that I don't know about. Yeah, so it's a really awesome place. I like to hang out up here. Now that I have this workshop that I can come up here at any weather and stay in the dry, it's just fascinating. It's just a big plus for me to have this escape. This is really like a really cool place to get away from all the madness. I can come up here, I can take a nap in the bed, which right now with all the mice, I don't know if it's pleasant or not, but in worst case, I can always come up here and just crash in the back of the bus. I have it in the van. Could lay back in there with Pooh Bear and just spend a couple hours just relaxing. I just spent this week as well cleaning out the back of my van so that I can actually use it again. It's not just a big driving storage. I had all my tools in there, and it was just pretty cluttered up, and I didn't like that. So I had to do an inventory. Now my basement looks like that. All the crap that was in my van is now, when you come in the basement, it's like, oh, you can't use the workshop. I can't use the workshop. What is all this stuff? Where does all this stuff come from? What is it doing in the basement? So the other option is I put it all back in the van, or I try to put it all away like in its actual location. But I'm going to use it again within the next weeks because it's like my mold mechanics tools that I use. And so now I'm kind of lost far in between. So I'm really trying to clean it. Oh, we got low battery warning. Okay. That was the low battery warning. It says here, less than 10 minutes. All right. So we're going to try to wrap this up a little bit. The hole in the cook set, I'm probably going to use a trick that I thought of with a toothpick. I'm going to take a drill bit and I'm going to clean out the hole to see what size it is. And if that gets too big, I'm going to go and use a dowel and I'm going to try to glue it. But I want to use hot drinks in there, so I'm going to have to try to figure out how to glue it safely and not use a toxic glue that heats up. So we'll have to figure that out. We'll see. Okay. So what we got going on here? Ammonites. Oh, I love those fossils as well. I have quite a collection of fossils when I was a bit younger. Resin, yeah, probably. Maybe I could try that. Yeah, Jasper is wonderful. I like this, and it works great as a flint for flint and steel. It works absolutely because of the iron content. It really sizzles. Those sparks are a lot hotter than just with the flint. So I prefer using the Jasper, actually. It's a much better sparks come off of it. That's funny. Okay, there. Yeah, I was okay. Now I get okay. All his finds turned out just to be poop that was turned underground. No, that's pretty. I guess that's if you're that guy, it's a crappy outlook on your career there. All right, everybody. The battery is giving me saying it's going to quit here. So I have about 5 minutes to shut the computer down. So I'd like to end the stream here. We had an awesome stream today, a little bit over an hour. It's a great time. We had some visits here from the usual suspects, and we had a couple people in here that haven't been in the chat yet, which is awesome. Hope to see a lot more people join the chat. I'm going to try to do these live streams more often. It's a great pleasure to have everybody tune in today. I'm going to end the stream here. Like always, stay safe and see you soon. Well, we got a question down here. I'm going to answer that real quick. Well, with the Jasper, I just wanted to collect it up because it's going to get. I have to extract it out of the ground, or it'll forever disappear. So I might as well collect it up and keep it, and use most of it for my flint steel. And I'm not quite sure if I'll ever be able to make any jewelry out of it or anything, but see. So everybody, I have to go. The battery's about to go. Stay safe, and see you soon.